Okay, update. We do NA, EU, NA, EU, NA. I took a look at the ping of both players, guys, and it turns out that Nikich's ping is even higher than I thought, and Juanito, his ping is a little bit lower than what I thought. So the fair way to do this is NA, EU, NA, EU, NA. No coin toss for game 5. If we go to game 5, it will be played on NA, but that is the most fair way to do this one. Thank you, Filtermatey, for the gifted subs, and no worries once more. Absolutely. It takes a lot to hit a sore spot. You're not going to hit too many sore spots at me. Sometimes I think comments are just random, and then I engage with them. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean I'm angry or upset. Yep, totally ready. Alright, 3 minutes past 7, and we can start our second best of 5 of the night. One that has the nerds discussing. Is this one-sided one way? Is this one-sided the other way? Or is it close? In my eyes, it's just close. But hey, I've been wrong a couple times, obviously. What's my prediction? Well, apparently it's a bit of a hot take. My original true prediction is that I think it's very close between these two. And if I truly have to choose a winner, I actually pick our Belarusian Zerg. I have been so impressed by him over the last 18 months. He has played some incredibly high-level series. He's fast. I think he's good. He's got great game knowledge. And Juanito is still making his way back, right? He's playing a bit more now than he did a couple months ago when he lost to Chem. But he's still not Omega active. So if I truly have to choose, I pick Nikich. But some people seem to believe that SpeCial trios. And even SpeCial believes that he trios. So obviously that kind of confidence does scare me a little. Let's do it. Let's hope it's a fun series, guys. Let's just look forward to some TVZ spectacle.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight.
Top right side of ley lines. We are looking at the main base of our Mexican Terran player, who also said he's going to make it fun and he's going to play some fun builds. That probably means some mech, some battle mech, some turtle mech, some BCs, who knows. It is Juanito. SpeCial. Plays a lot of poker. I know a lot of you guys are always wondering what have people been up to when I don't see them play online tournaments, and there have been little to no offline tournaments in the last 6 months. SpeCial has really gotten into poker. He's gotten lucky a few times with jackpots. I don't know about his raw skill. I don't think it's quite as good as the stakes that he's currently playing, but he's having a lot of fun with it. Poker is a really fun game to learn, as long as you do it responsibly. Something that I've struggled with in the past, but it's still very fun. And you know what? Even if it hurts, it's fun. Bottom left side of ley lines, we are looking at the main base of our Zerg that I truly believe in. I'm just a fan. I'm also happy that there are still some Zergs that are not the absolute elite, doing their best each and every single week in trying to get better. This is Nikich. This is the same SpeCial that used to play in GSL Cordes, that made it to BlizzCon, even made it to a semi-finals of a BlizzCon, probably the best result of his career. Made it through a very tough group, played Elaser in the quarterfinals. It is one of my little offline memories that I think very fondly of back. There was a live drawing with all 8 players that made it into the playoffs, and obviously everybody was nervous, right? Because there were certain people that they wanted to play, there were certain people they didn't want to play. And when Elaser got SpeCial, I think Elaser was drawn first, and then his opponent was drawn and picked up a ball, unfolded the piece of paper, and it said SpeCial. Elaser is like, yes! And then SpeCial looked at him, is like, yes! It's like, what are you saying yes for? This is good for me. And then he's like, oh, I'm so happy. And SpeCial's like, what do you mean you're happy? I'm happy. So they were both very happy that they got each other, which obviously got us all very excited to see the series actually play out. Back then it went into Juanito's favor. SpeCial won 3-0, looked incredibly dominant in that series. I think we're talking of BlizzCon 2017, so that is many, many years ago. And that SpeCial was one of the absolute best players in the world. This SpeCial is obviously still very good. And I won't be shocked if he wins here tonight. He's not a top 4 player in the world. We have a single Rex and a factory low ground opening as the Reapers continue to be annoying. Hop into the main base. That is 2 drones going down, maybe even a third. No, no third. I'd say that's alright in the end for both of them. It was a great BlizzCon. I mean, I told you guys a couple times over the last few weeks. BlizzCons were really cool. It was definitely a magical event in those glory days of Starcraft, if you want to call them that. Anaheim was awesome. There were so many cool people that came out, and the event always delivered. We had a few BlizzCons with a lot of technical difficulties. Obviously an honor to be a part of those events, and something that will always be with me. Definitely never forget. Overlord gets picked up. When I was a little Warcraft 3 nerd, first a fan, then a player, and later on a commentator, I used to read all these articles about things happening over at BlizzCon, and I saw those pictures of the Anaheim Convention Center. I was like, man, that looks so cool. I hope I can make it one day. In Warcraft I never did, but then with Starcraft 2 I went, I don't know, 8 times in a row, 7 or 8 times, however many BlizzCons I went to. Obviously pretty sick. Thank you, Bone Maw, for the 55 months. Carlos Sainz. Let's hope Carlos has a good weekend. We know absolutely nothing about StarCraft at BlizzCon 2026. I do assume they would do something. I don't know how much they would do. Yeah, 2013 was my very first. Hello, yo. I remember I got invited when I went to a home party of Kim Fan. He used to be the senior manager of esports for Blizzard. He now works for RTS, the Pokemon company. We were just there to have some drinks, play some board games. And then he's like, yeah, you know, BlizzCon's gonna be so exciting, and you guys are gonna be there, you know that, right? And I look at Mr. Bitt, I was like, no one told. I was like, yeah, of course you guys are gonna be there. I was like, what? Just very casually, accidentally got told that I would be at my first BlizzCon. Yeah, I went 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. 2012, there was no BlizzCon, but I did go to the BWI in China back then. The one that Parting won. Where Parting became a world champ. Yeah, of course I casted. Did analysis and casting for all of them. Never hosted or something like that. Never played either, unfortunately. It was close, guys, but never played. Nikich is links. Keep track of the medevac. Kill the Cyclone. Get a couple... we get a Marine as well. 10 worker lead and a whole bunch of roaches are out. A few more roaches in the production tab. Queen count is 4. We did lose one queen. I kind of want to say I think we can deal with this move out. I also don't think SpeCial should make this move out, because it's starting to look more and more like Nikich just wants to be incredibly aggressive here with a crazy amount of roaches and ravages. And if that is the case, I don't think SpeCial should be losing any units here. 2018 BlizzCon SC2 final was one for the ages. 2018 was Jonas BlizzCon, though. That's definitely very good. I also think back very highly of the 2016 BlizzCon. Like Beyond Dark, in the arena was such a... I get goosebumps when I think of it. Like the way that the stage looked, and then the first person view on the left of Beyond, on the right of Dark. The games were insane. It was such a good BlizzCon. Marine stim forward could be a big snipe over here at the 4th base, and it is a big snipe. Liberator is somewhat low, is gonna siege up. The Queen is slipping on the job. Nikich can't really afford to lose too many workers here. Economically, game 1 doesn't look too hot for Nikich. Needs to take care of the Liberator, and he needs to find value out of all these roaches and ravages, but SpeCial has had his fair share of Roach Ravager attacks throughout the year, after playing 84 series against Chem. And this is not SpeCial's first rodeo, and 8 minutes in, it doesn't look very hot for Nikich, guys. Now this is on an A, game 2 would be on Europe. That one should be closer. Yeah, this overall does not look good enough for our Belarusian Zerg. He's gonna have to step it up, he's gonna have to be quicker, faster, more accurate. I don't think it's like necessarily game over. If Hive comes online, he can get Vipers out. We can get some Zerg spellcasting going. It may not be all that bad. 9 minutes in, it's also not looking great. We used to go to Barcrafts. I went to a couple Barcrafts. One at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Anaheim. Or Irvine, one of the two, I don't know. Irvine, I think. And we watched the MLG there, where Flash and Life played. That's so cool. Just have beers. They had Starcraft themed cocktails. Some of those Barcrafts back then in SoCal, as they call it, Southern California, they were really cool. I met really cool people there. Later on, I couldn't go anymore because I always went to the events. Literally DJ Khaled, guys, suffering from success. Couldn't go to the bar crafts. It was very sad. Had to actually be there. The bar crafts were dope. Yeah. Yeah, Blizzard was an awesome company back then. In still the early years of StarCraft 2 coming out, they would support all these passion projects of people organizing barcrafts around the world. They would also set up these calls, right, where there's a live event. It's like, oh, let's call in with Paris, let's call in with London, let's call in with Anaheim. And then all the fans would wave at the camera. This was really cool. That's obviously kind of stuff that I miss too. Well, yeah, it takes a lot of parties involved working together, hyping each other up to make that kind of stuff happen. Yeah. Hello, Fuser. Give me 1 second, mate, because Nikich, I think, is in trouble. Hive Tech is done. Ultras are on the way, but Ultras are not out yet. We are going to need some great blinding clouds, or ideally maybe an abductor too. He doesn't have adrenal glands either. I would buy you all the beers, Fuser. If you bike from Finland all the way to Krefeld, all your drinks for the weekend will be on me. I get a budget anyway from Basilisk every home story cup. So I can buy you plenty of drinks. One of the infestors lands a very sweet fungo, but Nikich still needs more. Above all, guys, he needs time. 5 Ultras on the way, but none of them out yet. If the Ultras do come out, the Zerg army gets a proper power spike. The power spikes that I can only relate to if I pick up Titanic magazine in Deadlock. It's just a completely different ballgame, baby. You get a couple Ultras out against this Marine tank. That Titanic magazine and your Paradox hits different. Oh, that is a nice fungal, and that is a decent blinding cloud as well, at least on one of the tanks. The tank line does go back very deep. We still don't have adrenal glands. How good are them Ultras? They're okay, but kind of feel like all 5 Ultras were not there. There is a double drop happening over here on the left side as well. It is a fun TVZ. It feels that Nikich is on the ropes. Can he land the fungal there? No, the infestor dies. Maybe he didn't have energy, so he loses the triangle base. That's incredibly problematic. Is there a world, guys, where our Zerg can counter in a devastating manner up to the point where it's an all-in? He's getting dropped in the main. He's getting dropped over here on the left side. SpeCial's obviously starting to pick him apart. But there will still, I think, be one scary attack. That if you don't have Liberators and you don't have Ghosts, it could be difficult to deal with. SpeCial's obviously going to try to delay this attack by just dropping non-stop as he drops the Ghost Academy. In a lot of scenarios here, the Zerg is Omega dead. Don't get me wrong, I'm not coping. I'm aware of the fact that the Zerg is mega dead. But we're looking at 7 Ultras with +2 armor and chitinous plating and some spellcasters against pure bio. SpeCial's playing this out so well. SpeCial is playing this out so well. He just continues to drop. He is not just gonna sit at home and defend. Nikich knows that he needs to do something on the other side of the map, but he loses the Viper. The Ultras, they will do their thing here, but he doesn't just need to find crazy damage. He needs to straight up win the game. And I don't believe that 6-7 Ultras can ever straight up win the game. Even though they're definitely tanky boys. The repair, by the way, is very good of the SCVs, keeping the planetary alive for a little while longer. In game 1, Juanito shows us that good old saying from MMA. Form is temporary, the class is permanent. He's making himself and the believers proud. Takes a convincing one, Oli. Thank you so much to Dave. 500 biddies. Roddy stories are the best. I have plenty of stories. I have stories for days. Sometimes people show up and be like, hey, Roddy, tell me a story. And it's like, that's not how it works. Like, I'm not a jukebox. So you cannot just throw in a quarter and it's like, here's a random story about anything that is fun. But if you ask me something specific about an event or about a player, I'll probably have a story. Or have some memories. Things that I can share. 1-0 lead for SpeCial. Game 2 will be played over at Europe. Yeah, it just kind of felt to me that Nikich was pretty stuck on the Roaches and Ravages for a while. And he couldn't find any damage. And he actually continued to take damage. And then by the time that he got Hive, it just felt it was already too late. SpeCial was at his front door. Killing drones, killing bases, killing queens, even getting the spellcasters. It just all needs to be a little bit quicker and sharper on the side of Nikich. What about a bedtime story? Is that specific enough? I would need help with that too. Depends. If you tell me what you're really into, maybe I can come up something. Have you ever been scuba diving? No, that is not something I've ever done in my life. I also don't know if like scuba diving in the ocean is something that would really be for me. I do think there is this massive aquarium in Dubai or Abu Dhabi where it's like 6 or 7 floors and there's like different rooms and cars, right? I would do that. Like scuba diving, but it's still in a controlled environment. That would be more my thing. I don't know about the ocean. That scares me. Unless it's like very close to the surface. If it's only like a couple meters, I could do it, but I wouldn't want to go too deep and too far away from land. I'm no hero with that kind of stuff. Am I on the right server, guys? No, I'm not. I'm like waiting for everybody to show up, but I was the only one left on NA. Thank you, Junsi, for gifting a sub to the community. Something humble. Reynor. Alright, game 2. I was the one who was delaying everything. Amygdala. Thank you, Plasmodium, mate. 24 months, tier 3. What a man. Or lady. I appreciate it. Would you go to space if given the opportunity? Fuck no. No, I'll pass. I will leave that to the next generation of human beings. Or like 3 further generations. No. I'll pass. It's just like one of these things that it still feels so risky. And I know that its technology came pretty far. And it all seems really good right now, but no, I'll pass. I love watching the videos made of those rockets coming in and out of space and astronauts doing their thing and coming back safely. That's all amazing and all, but no, I'll pass. I'll stand on the sidelines.
Fight!
Stand on the sidelines and wave. Top right side of Amygdala. We are looking at the main base of our Mexican Terran. He said he would 3-0. I said, if you do 3-0, then the next time you play, mate, it's main event. It's that simple. If you can 3-0 Nikich, you're absolutely a main event player. This is Juanito SpeCial. How do you feel about the Razer Goliath Control Edition? It was a good mousepad. I did really like that mousepad back then, mate. Bottom left side of Amygdala, we are looking at the main base of our Belarusian Zerg. Opened up with Roaches and Ravages last game. Obviously did have Zergling speed as well, but just couldn't really find any momentum. Can things go better here on the European server? It is Nikich. No, I just feel like it's too early. Just like I wouldn't go into one of those cubes that can drop like 300 meters below sea level. No, I'll pass on all of that. It's not that I'm afraid of trying things, but it's just like I don't see what I gain out of that. It's like, wow, I feel like it's going to look very similar to the way that it does on video. But then there's also a chance that that is the last thing I'll ever do on this planet. No, I'll pass. Yeah, SpeCial has been in Mexico for a while now. I don't know if he plans on staying there forever, but I think one of the main reasons why he enjoyed Korea as much as he did was obviously that he was close with a lot of the Korean pro gamers back then and he could practice in a very competitive environment. These days he is serious about Starcraft, but he obviously took a big break. I also think there were some private issues maybe that made it hard for him to stay in Korea back then. There's a chance that he will go back one day, but I don't think that's something that is like happening any day soon. It might have to come down to how things look as well, right? With StarCraft and EWC. Perhaps there will be a team house in Korea if EWC says, okay, we're going to do StarCraft for 2 or 3 years. And there are some big contracts to earn. Orcs are interested. Maybe big stuff will happen in Korea. And maybe Juanito will go back. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. That's something I would maybe do. No Krasa. Because I do think that submarines indeed look absolutely badass. And I'm always so stunned by how freaking big they are. Because you would think it's like it's a little boat in the water, but it's it's like a mall in the water, on the ground. It's like we're hidden. I feel like that'd be very cool as long as it's not too far away. Like I wouldn't want to cross the Pacific or the Atlantic in a submarine. That would honestly terrify me. But to go on like a little trip near the coastline somewhere, like yeah, I think that would actually be very cool. Submarines are awesome. I've watched a lot of videos about all the different type class of submarines that are out there, and just like how they maneuver. I was actually thinking, it's funny that you bring up a submarine. Will he see the starport, by the way? Will he see the starport? Nikich, this would be big for you.
Swarm has evolved.
You know, with all these submarines, well, I know it's not that many, but there's obviously a decent amount of submarines active in the oceans at any given moment. You will think that they could accidentally collapse or accidentally, collide. I know the ocean is very big, but these submarines are very big too. They want to be as quiet as possible so they don't let them be detected. It's like, wouldn't it be possible for two submarines to just collide? But I guess that's not a thing. But you would think that's a thing, no? If they don't want to reveal where they are, if they are omega quiet, if they don't show up on any radar, but they're always floating around. I know the ocean is obviously massive, not just like in size, but in depth as well. So they also are very tiny, but you think it's possible. It has happened in a Terra. It happened more than one. Yeah, okay. Well, that's what I thought. I was like, it should be able to happen. Juanito is finding damage here as 4 drones die to the Liberator. Reapers and Hellions are not finding crazy damage yet. BC on the way. It's a proxy starport BC. That's honestly quite wild. Fusion core all the way in the bottom right side. We don't want to lose any queens against this. I believe that the nuclear-powered submarines are a lot more quiet than the diesel submarines. And they can obviously just stay on the water forever, right? I think they can go for a couple of years on a trip if they want to. Queen dies. Actually, losing queens here, guys, is terrifying for Nikich. I know that we are exploring the oceans over here with some submarine talk. But this is very, very bad news for a Belarusian Zerg, because he cannot afford to lose too many queens. It is not a Banshee follow-up, but it is a Battlecruiser follow-up. Okay, that's a good save. A couple spores is absolutely mandatory here. BC has popped. It doesn't even need to use tactical jump. It has popped. Queens are trying to run to the spore crawler. The Giga Chat spore is very good. The BC is going to fly away from it. I don't think the Queens win this fight. I do not think the Queens win this fight against this Battlecruiser. Battlecruisers are incredibly tanky, and Juanito is running all over Nikich here in game 2. So many drones are falling. Thank the Lord that we have one spore, but a spore is not going to help against all these Hellions. Juanito's so good. He is still so good. Nikich is struggling. Might be able to clean this up if we don't lose that queen. We really need to keep that queen alive for a little bit. Obviously the damage has already been dealt. Couple hydros on the way. Juanito's even dropping a mule. What an opening. And what execution. Proxy starport with a single Liberator straight into BCs. And the man has made nothing but Hellions from here on out. That is a cool build and great execution. And this is on the European server as well. Hey guys, keep that in mind. SpeCial really wants to play in the main event, eh? Honestly, it's very impressive. If SpeCial does show up here and he 3-0s Nikich, I am incredibly impressed. Getting Sal ready for the best of 5. What is he doing? Why is he throwing down a scan in the center of the map? What was that? Is he showing off? Why is he throwing down a scan in the center of a Mikola? That's so random, no? What just happened there? Is he flexing? Is Juanito flexing? Did he just want to reveal the Big Brain Bouts logo? What's happening over here? A couple Hydras are trying to kill one of these BCs, but healthy BCs are so freaking tanky. This game is an absolute nightmare. Drops 3 meals as well. He's a 3-base Terran. He's going to repair his BCs. Will just be able to continue doing his thing. I mean, obviously, like so far, yes, you got to give all kudos to SpeCial. He is showing us that he is perhaps just the better player. After playing, like, what is it, 30, 40, 50 games, that he still has it. I also think that maybe this is a bit of a unique game, right? It is not something that he can pull off over and over again. But this has always been the strength of SpeCial. SpeCial has always been a creative Terran, of course, with great mechanics and great micro and solid macro and great game understanding. But he's always had a whole bunch of cool, unique builds up his sleeve. And if you then execute them at a high level, they can catch your opponent off guard. Maybe Nikich doesn't have a lot of experience against this kind of stuff, or maybe he didn't think that SpeCial would play like this, but yeah, so far it's working out to a T, close to perfection. An easy 2-0 for Juanito as we hop back to the America server, and he can fulfill his promise of the 3-0 and prove the believers right, prove me wrong. Yeah, Juanito just so good, just so good. You wonder if that bolt works in dark. These bolts are all incredibly momentum based. So once you get going, once your start is good and then your follow up is solid, and it just gets better and better and better. And if your first BC can fly on top of 4 queens and kill all of them, it's just game over. A build like this could work against anyone. It can also fail against much worse Zergs than someone like Nikich. It's just that's just the way it is. I'm still not gonna give up yet on a Belarusian Zergy. I believe that he can get it together and start turning things around. He really is very good. It's just a bit of an unfortunate series so far. Game 1 was maybe just not his game. And game 2, yeah, we didn't see it. We didn't see it. We didn't realize it until it's too late. Hello, Whiskey Jack. Favorite day of the week? Everybody loves a Friday. It's the first day of the year for me, guys, that we're wearing a t-shirt and shorts. 20 degrees, baby. Oh, game 3 is ultra low. Okay, I'm worried. Alright. Start submitting potential opponents for SpeCial in the Big Brain Bouts main event. I don't know what week we'll do it, but we'll do it sometime soon. I think SpeCial has been back in Mexico for over a year at this point. Maybe like anything between 12 and 18 months, something like that. And he's not playing against the Protoss, so the lead actually matters. Miro, you're gonna tell me. I'm okay with you being unhappy with the state of TVP, that's fine. But making it seem like having a big lead as a Terran means nothing against Protoss, that's just silly, and you know that too. Terran definitely has a tough time against Protoss. But if as a Terran you're very far ahead, then it's almost impossible for a Protoss to come back to. Like, what is the great comeback tool? Storm? In reference to mech? Okay, mech is different. I thought you were talking generic. But even against mech, man, I can't even beat mech if I'm ahead. So let's not even get started about being behind against mech and still winning. Not a Friday enthusiast. Who doesn't love a Friday? The only sad thing is that this is an international weekend of football rather than a regular weekend. But then we have F1. And to be fair, watching the Netherlands absolutely destroy Spain on Sunday is actually going to be really good. That's going to make up for not having any club football over the weekend.
Round 3. Fight.
Here we go. I believed in him, and so far I look a little silly, don't I? Because I thought that this was going to be mega competitive and that this man could potentially win it. But you know what, guys? I'm not just gonna give up on my original prediction. I will stick with him till the bitter end. Down 0-2, we're playing game 3 on a good map for Terran and on the NA server. It's looking very grim. But it's our Belarusian Zerg, Nikich. Time to turn this one around, baby. So we open things up with a pool, by the way. Pool first. Bottom left side. You guys know the drill by now. Form is temporary, class is permanent. He's back, plays a lot of poker. Back in Mexico, it is SpeCial. AKA Juanito. Seems like a lot of the mirror matchups are way more of a coin flip on the opening. I don't think there are too many true coin flips these days. Like, there's actually a lot of skill in mirror matchups. The only thing is that mirror matchups can be very extreme, especially PvP early game. If a much worse player has an Omega great start or an Omega big lead, it's going to be very difficult for the better player to turn things around. Well, I think in other matchups perhaps that is a bit more doable. Wasn't playing against... I saw that... did you guys see that clip of USA versus Panama yesterday night? Panama scored the winning goal in like minute 95, and then all those guys, they jumped over the boarding and they started hugging Henry and they patted him on his head. I thought it was a very cool clip. It was very wholesome. It made me smile. You can see that Cave Abdo is like, what the hell's happening over here? These guys are crazy, but I thought it was very wholesome. I love little moments like that. And guys in Panama often don't have maybe too many great successes for the national team. Playing in a stadium like that, scoring the winner against America, I thought it was very cool. Very, very early Roach Warren on the side of Nikich, and if SpeCial is Reaper scouts it here, and it's... Okay, that is a 6 surround, so the surround is goated. The unfortunate part is that it all got scouted already. And if it already got scouted, then there is a low ground barracks and a low ground factory. At least the SCV is taking some damage, but the SCV does not fall yet. Do you still go with it here if you're Nikich? Apparently Nikich says yes, Roddy, you still go with it. At least 4 roaches, but he also has Zergling speed. This is an Omega all-in, though. Isn't this an Omega all... Oh, can he go in? Can he go in? SpeCial's gonna build a bunker and starts adding a tech lab to... I mean, it is gonna take... Oh, he cancels the... Oh, that's bad, no? Isn't that bad, guys? Every second matters here. Every second matters. SpeCial saw the Roach Worm, but there are different ways to play this out as a Zerg. And SpeCial, did he go Cyclone first? Yeah, he does go Cyclone first. Spots a couple of the slow Zerglings seconds before Zergling speed. But Nikich is pretty damn committed. Not too many Zerglings to be fair, but he's got a lot of Zerglings as a follow-up. Roaches and Ravages need to do their thing. We have 20-30 seconds without a Cyclone. Tank is a very long ways off. Can Nikich keep himself alive in this series? At this point, I want to say it doesn't look too good, but if we can just open these floodgates, or as Ben would say, turn on the floodgates. What are we gonna... I don't know if we can kill the bunker, though. The bunker is fully surrounded by SCVs. He's clicking on the bunker. The Zerglings are not doing anything. Nikich, matey. That was not the fight. If we would have just ran into the main base immediately, perhaps it would have gone a lot better. Oh, why did he do it? Why did he do it like that? Why do you click on a bunker that is surrounded by SCVs with Zerglings? It's a disaster. Even now he got 11 SCVs. Imagine how many he would have been able to get if he just ran into the main base immediately. Ugh. That was really bad. And maybe it was panic or something, but the Lynx clicked on the bunker, but there were SCVs all around it. So the Lynx are just running back, forth, doing absolutely no damage. This is a disaster. I'm sure you answered this, but did you think the red card against the Dutch was warranted? Actually, nobody asked me about it, mate. I don't think too many people care about Nations League. But I didn't even see it that clearly, but I saw that Hato said he deserved it. And if the player himself said he deserved it, then I rest my case, right? Because very often will a player say like, yeah, I deserve it. And then to be sitting here like, no, it wasn't. That's so weird. That's kind of like arguing over balance when Clem is like, hey guys, like TVC is kind of fine. And this was like, no, Clem is so, oh my god, imbalanced, it's impossible to win. It's like, no, it's fine. It's like, well, if Hato says he deserved red, I'm just going to agree with him. Oh no, I like Juanito Dreams and does. I think it's exciting, mate. Like I'm always sad if a series is trio. Don't get me wrong. I never wanted trio. Even if it's my favorite human being playing on the planet. Even if Vicky plays in the Big Brain Bouts one day. I don't want a trio. So that's always something I'll be sad about. But other than that, everyone I invite to the Friday night is someone I'm fond of. Because if I wouldn't like them, I wouldn't invite them, right? I am in a very blessed position that BASILISK gives me the opportunity to run this event every Friday. Give out $500 to video gamers I love. It's just awesome. I'm not inviting anybody I don't like. It's that simple. There are players you don't like? Yeah, but they haven't played in the Big Brain Bouts. That's... You know? Life is simple in that way, mate. Yep, it seems that Juanito is indeed delivering on his promise. I have a hard time finding, like, I don't even know who I would want to see him play next. So tough. SpeCial is a bit of a unique case. I know there's like 18,000 Protoss players we could feed him. But it'd be fun to see SpeCial play a main event against a Terran or a Zerg. I don't know. Stuff. Winged has played in the BBB now. Now, when it comes to players below 5.3k, it's obviously I can only invite so many. And I don't want to make it exclusively a friend tournament. Give him Yakov. Last time I asked Yakov, he said he wasn't playing. SpeCial versus J-Goat. I would definitely be down for young Yakov, but I don't think that young Yakov is a whole lot better than Nikich. Maybe he's a bit better in some things. Overall, a little bit better. I like that. If Yakov is down, I'd definitely be down. And I'm sure that SpeCial will just tell us that he's going to 3-0 again. And I'm going to disagree again, and then we'll see who's right. I still stand by, if Nikich and SpeCial play another best of 5, and it just, like, I don't know, the start is a bit different. Nikich has a better start. He doesn't die against a couple Hellions and a battle cruiser. It could all be... It could be different. These guys can have competitive games. I'm certain of it. I cannot be that wrong. Just tonight, it didn't turn out that way. SpeCial was in a league of his own, and Nikich, unfortunately, anything he could come up with didn't really work out. Things got scouted. Things that he needed to scout did not get scouted. The execution of some of his attacks, the timing of it wasn't quite there. It was simply not good enough on the side of Nikich, and SpeCial delivered on his promise and then some. I think Lambo be a bit too hard. Lambo is still really good. But yeah, if SpeCial wants it, I'd be down for that. I always want to see Lambo. I try to invite Lambo every week, believe it or not. And I was very close to having him, but then he backpedaled. But we'll get him soon. SpeCial was supposed to play Zerg on the Monday night, because SpeCial made a promise that he think he could go further in the Monday night weekly than Fjant, Nikich, Young Yakov, whatever, and win the Zerg bonus. I said, SpeCial, if you do that with your Zerg, I'll double it. Then 2 other community members stepped up and said, he gets 25 from me as well. So if SpeCial was the highest placing Zerg on the Monday night, he would have had $100. He lost in round 1. So, no. His Zerg did not deliver. But that doesn't really matter, right? Because in the end of the day, he's a Terran player. And he said, Roddy, invite me into the Big Brain Bouts. Stop giving me these guys and I'm just going to 3-0. I can't believe you don't think I'm going to win these games. I was like, well, I don't know. But in the end, he made it look easy. SpeCial was right. I was wrong. A convincing 3-0 victory for Juanito. Unfortunately, our first 3-0 of the evening. Gotta give it to Juanito. The man talked and talked and talked, and guess what? He backed it up. Yeah, you were right, Graf. You were right, guys. I was wrong. Is this what it is? Sometimes I'm wrong. SpeCial delivered. You know what? I'm gonna try young Yakov. As soon as Yakov is down, I think that's a very fun main event as well. SpeCial versus young Yakov main event. I'd be down for it. SpeCial still got it, baby. 64% of y'all believed in Juanito. 507,000 channel points. $80 will go to SpeCial. This is a match that obviously could have been a little bit later on to the night as well. But I already promised the other guys that they would play at certain slots, so I was like, SpeCial, this is the best I can do. And hey, $80 for a single best of 5, I still think is pretty good. We're now going to get ready for a matchup that we do see very often, but I think this is a fun one. 2 guys from the same nation, Shameless and Mindel VK. They were both very excited for this series. They said that they have a lot of epic games within the Russian community against each other. I'm sure it's pretty back and forth. Last few weeks, Mindel VK is all the rage. He's been posting some really good results in the weeklies, getting some really big wins over, I think, even guys like Bjarnes. I don't know. I don't know who he beat, but Mindo has been making runs. He made top 4 in one of the Monday night weeklies. Proper gamer. Shameless, in my eyes, is one of the most talented up-and-coming players we have in the European scene. Yeah, I would probably go with Shameless, but hey, I was wrong about the previous series, so Maybe I'd be wrong about a PvP as well, but I think PvP can always be very close. Like Shameless, Mindo, VK, they're both good. It's going to come down a lot to who finds the momentum, who performs when it matters, who delivers. Historically, it is quite close between these two. Mindo winning the last 2 encounters. They haven't actually played too many games this year. Shameless winning a bit more last year. That doesn't surprise me because I feel that Mindo only started playing a lot more again throughout 2025. Juanito absolutely cooked. The man promised and the man delivered. Well done. Like nothing else I can say. I'm obviously sad it was a trio. I'm sad that Nikich couldn't quite show what he was made out of. I stand by the fact that I think he can make it a lot closer than that was. But today was not that evening. I'm going to go ahead and take a tiny break. We'll run some ads so we can disable all the pre-rolls. And by the time that I come back, we can get ready for our PvP between our Bratons. Mindo VK versus Shameless. Special play trigger. No, maybe a long time ago. I don't know. We have been doing this for like 90 weeks. I don't remember every single match we ever had. I think trigger right now would be very hard. I actually think that trigger is at least even, if not favored, against every Terran on the planet that is not Clem. So, if Special wants to play trigger, I think we can make that happen. But that'd be a very tough one for Juanito. He would probably say that it's not tough and that he could just do it. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'll take a tiny break. We'll run some ads. And by the time that I come back, let's get ready for some PvP. Before we get ready for the main event, and that is a main event that I'm excited for, as Nikich has been asking me for a long time to please give him a shot once in the main event. Was even a bit annoyed that at one point he was always the second or the third. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Today is Nico's day. He can be a main event, and he can show us what he's made out of. That's going to be fun, but first, PvP. I'll see you guys in a bit. Mindo VK versus Shameless coming up.